Hey guys, Mike here from Lunch Money Comics. Today I'm in Newington, Connecticut at the amazing 3 Men in a Basement comic book swap. It's at this awesome angry hair, tattoo, and barbershop parlor. This is one of the best shows in all of New England, a great social event, and I am really excited. Let's go in and have some fun. All right. Hey Josh. What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
Good to see you, man. Excited. Oh, that's good. Good stuff. There's Carlos. What's on, bud? What's up, man? Good.
1972.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Hey guys, I'm here with Joe from 360 Comics. What's up, buddy?
Nothing, man. Drove up from Philadelphia this morning, 3.5 hours, but totally worth it for this awesome show. Such a great community show. Love that Otto and the guys put it on every year, and this is my 3rd year setting up, and I'm going to continue doing it.
Absolutely. I would say this, like, we have a lot of great small community shows, but this is like absolutely one of the best. I made the rookie mistake last year of leaving too early. Evidently, this place really gets hopping later on.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're staying the whole night tonight. We're gonna be getting home at midnight. After midnight, we're running on coffee right now. Been up since 4 a.m.
Did I hear there's karaoke?
There is karaoke. I'm very
man.
excited to do some Beastie Boys.
Oh wow, okay. Tipping your hand there a little bit. So, all right, Joe. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, man,
enjoy.
you too.
Yeah, talk to you. Slightly chewed on, but still. First Green Goblin. Yeah.
Oh, good. We got change. Also 96.
Second alarm here. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah. Classic. Oh, you got some good stuff over here, huh?
We had some British Marvel.
Some British Marvel stuff?
Very good. I think it's in the stock here.
It's got color touch.
Oh, that, yeah, all right.
See it?
Yeah, that's,
See it?
I definitely see it, yeah.
This one's nicer, but it's got the Marvel chipping.
Oh, yeah.
This is 98. It's like 2009.
Oh, yeah, classic.
Yeah.
This is one I've been eyeing for a while, too. All right, guys. This show has an amazing raffle. So you buy the tickets, over there, and then you put them in the bags, and they pull them out. And, these are donated by people, like a lot of the vendors, and there's just awesome stuff in here, absolutely. So I am absolutely going to get some tickets and, see if I can win something. Pretty exciting. All right. So this is a gift from Jay. Thank you so much. That's very cool. Awesome. Hey guys, how you doing? See you guys, hey. Wow.
This one okay though? Yeah, that's okay. That's within her.
How's it going? Stuff.
Exactly, see them.
Wow.
No one, I don't think anyone here has remote.
No, I don't think they, yeah.
Anywhere else.
we have Very Gary. Let's see what Gary's got. What's up, Noah?
Hey.
Hey guys, I'm here with the one and only Gary. Very Gary Comics. What's going on, buddy?
Well, nothing, man. Just selling books.
Selling books. Came up from New York again today.
Yep.
How many years have you done this?
We're probably pushing 10 now.
Wow, 10 years?
Yeah, probably.
Awesome. Absolutely. Well, he gave me some great advice on YouTubing last year, so I'm always love picking his brain. So always good to see you, bud.
Yeah, same.
All right, see ya. Here's a close-up of Gary's comics here. Tempting. Alright, and back in this corner, we have some beverages, and there's even a lounge. Pretty cool. Alright guys, I'm here with the one and only Otto of the Three Men Crew.
Sal, thank you. You flatter me, Mike. You flatter me. I'm actually here with the one and only Mike from 120 Comics.
Come on. I'm just happy to be in the show. I was saying it earlier, of all the small local shows in New England, they're all great for meeting people and networking and having a good time, but this, I feel like, is second to none in terms of the fun aspect of
I'm
it.
having, look at the smile on my face, look at the smile on your face. Everybody's smiling. This is the fourth time we've held it here at this venue at the Angry Hare in Newington, and it's exactly what we want for a show. This started off with 14 people, and it's amazing. Just to give you an idea, we have 35 vendors. Of those 35 vendors, 15 of them are first-time sellers, which is what the swap was all about. We've got big vendors like Richie's Comic Cabana, Erod 212, but we also have 15 guys who decided to, hey, I'll take some stuff out and I'll sell it, and people are getting great deals, man.
You're getting great deals, and the donations for the raffle are unbelievable.
It's unbelievable what this raffle is all about. Did you take footage of it?
I did.
You did? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's
okay,
pretty
good,
cool.
good. So the raffle is very unique. You buy 15 raffle tickets at $3.15, $3.30. We're going to give away stuff that's been donated by all the vendors. We've got 9/8 slabs. We've got Silver Age books. We've got very, very unique things. And for 20 bucks on a chance that we get 15 tickets, oh my God.
I always feel bad doing like raffles and stuff because, you know, the YouTube and all that. And I'm here to support you guys, but no, I threw some in. Fingers crossed. I want to win some of those.
Good luck, Mike.
Absolutely. Hey man, always great to see you. Absolutely, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right. It's afternoon somewhere, right? Wow. Strong. Hi. Lone Wolf Comics here. Oh, there's Golden Age back there too. Thank you. That's a much nicer copy.
These are 50 each and those are 100 each.
All right, guys, I definitely looked around. There's a lot of books that I really want. And now it's time for me to get the trade books. This is a comic swap after all. Great to see you. So let's get the books out of the car and see if we can make a deal or two. So I'm here with Second Alarm Comics, who are some of the best traders I've ever gone against here in New England. They got some stuff I'm interested in, definitely.
Nice.
All right, I'm interested in this Werewolf by Night 32. Some staining on the back. Nice book. All right, Jim. What's the deal, buddy? Thanks a lot. Awesome. Pretty excited. Low grade.
This is stuff you're looking to trade?
Yeah, and I just traded for a pretty big book.
Yeah.
First Moon Knight. Second Alarm Comics, yeah. A little bit of cash, but definitely was beautiful.
Really?
7.5 or an 8, yeah.
It's 32, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, Josh is going crazy here.
Oh, look at that. Unloading a Wolverine one, a Demon in a bottle.
All right, this is what Josh took out. I have to do some math here to figure out how much it's worth. All right, Josh has his pile of stuff, and I was interested in first Rhino. Think he's happy? All right, buddy. Always a pleasure.
Thanks,
Sweet.
buddy.
Straight up trade. That's cool. Classic, yep. All right, I just got a player's handbook from 1978 from my buddy Murph here. So thanks a lot, man. Appreciate that. Awesome. Cool. Didn't think I'd be getting that today.
You never know what you'll find at the swap.
Never know. Here. All right, here, we'll do it. Awesome. William, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yep. Wow. All right.
Wow.
Crazy. Everyone is packing up, guys. What an awesome, awesome show. And I definitely got some good books for my collection. All right, guys. That is a wrap on one of the best comic shows I've ever been to. And I did pretty good. Ended up with 3 gigantic books. So let's go home. I'll show you guys everything that I got. So there you go. That was the amazing 3 Men in a Basement comic book swap down in Newington, Connecticut. They hold it at this amazing venue called the Angry Hair. It's actually a tattoo parlor and hairdressing place. And they clear out all the chairs, all the equipment to have this amazing comic book show. And guys, visually, it's just an amazing place to have a comic shop. You know, cool angles. It's just really awesome, big open floor space. But on top of that, it has probably the best atmosphere of any comic book show I've ever been to. I went to it last year, and guys, you saw, they have a DJ there. Otto from the 3 Men crew is, playing MC. He's doing, giveaways and raffles. Just an awesome electric atmosphere. And remember, it's a comic book swap. So although it's a show, a lot of people bring comic books to trade. And because, that's sort of how they advertise this, people are amenable to pretty much one-to-one trades, which you don't often see at these comic book shows. So I brought a couple of boxes to trade, and holy smokes, guys. I thought I might trade for 1 big book, and I ended up with 3 gigantic books. You saw them in the footage, but we need to talk about them. But before we do, guys, I say this all the time. For me, this hobby isn't just about the comic books. Those are sort of like the bonus. It's the set dressing. For me, it's the people in the hobby, and I say it all the time. I am so lucky to live in New England and be a comic book collector. Not only do we have tons of comic book shops and comic book shows that seem to be happening every couple weeks. Actually, I ended up going to 2 shows in the same weekend. Look forward to my next video to see what that's all about. Let alone all the flea markets and all of the antique shops that you can find comic books at. But for me, guys, it's the people. It's people like the 3 Men in a Basement crew. They're not only having their one big show, but they do, those comic book crawls that I've been on. They promote other shows, and they're branching outside of the Northeast. And it is absolutely awesome, the work they do. They're really fun guys. And of course, the fun didn't stop when the show ended. There was actually an after party. Local pub. They had a whole room set up with, karaoke. And I gotta tell you guys, sometimes, it takes a little while for people to loosen up for karaoke. Nope, immediately, people were right up there with the microphone. By the way, Joe from 360 Comics, when he does karaoke, he goes hard. Huge shout out to Joe. And of course, I may have been a good sport and done a little bit of Bon Jovi. Of course, Otto was filming everything even before I put the microphone down, my phone buzzed. Yeah, and of course he posted it to the rest of the world. Thanks, Otto. But it was a fantastic time. I wish I could have stayed the whole night. Evidently, it got a little wild after I left. So all that being said, if you like this sort of stuff and you want to support the channel, head on down, hit that like button. You can follow me on Instagram under Lunch Money Comics IG. But if you're not already doing so, make sure you also follow 3 Men in a Basement on YouTube, as well as on Instagram, and Otto on Instagram. I'll put links to all of those down in my description. Follow them to find out about all the amazing events that they put on and support in the Northeast, and also to see maybe some clips of all the fun they have afterwards. All right, guys, I have some insane books I cannot wait to share with you. But first, we're going to start off small with a non-comic book item. I bumped into my good friend Murph. He's on Instagram as the Amazing Murphinator. He's gone on a couple comic crawls with the three-man crew that I was there. Actually, last time we went, he found a John Byrne signed X-Men book that he gifted to me. Really great guy. Actually, I had something for him. He spotted something on one of my YouTube videos that he wanted, so I brought it for him. But yeah, he was there selling comic books. He had some great, Amazing Spider-Man, actually. I was definitely eyeing. But he brought some interesting things from one of his neighbors, one of his friends. He told him he'd help him sell. I say it all the time, guys. I collect lots of things, not just comic books. I love games. I love Dungeons and Dragons. And Murph had some old school Dungeons and Dragons stuff. Yeah, he had some older sets. This is actually an advanced Dungeons and Dragons book, originally published in 1978. This is the 6th printing from 1980. This is the version I started playing as a kid, and I love these retro D&D things, guys. He sold this to me for $25. I got this because it's fun to reminisce, and I remember a lot of the art in here, as a kid, but also my son loves D&D. I brought this home, and he thought it was amazing, and he was going through it all night. So, really cool book, Murph. You're awesome. Thank you so much for this. I'm pretty happy. My only regret, guys, he actually had several other things, including a monster manual that I didn't get. What was I thinking? I should have got it. Maybe I'll have it next time. So this next book was actually a gift. Yeah, it was from an individual who watches my channel. I've met him at comic book shows in the past. He knows I like Swamp Thing. And you don't have to get me anything, guys, but I'm really appreciative of this because this is DC Proudly Presents Swamp Thing. It's a book from 1977 that is a republishing of Swamp Thing 1 and 2 by Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson. So I have the issue number 1 back there slabbed. I'm so happy to have this because I can read it. When you slap a book, you can't read it anymore. This is pretty awesome. So thank you so much for the amazing gift. Really, really special, and I'm absolutely going to read this like tonight probably. Okay, I have one more small book. I actually got this from another guy named Mike. He actually was from the Philadelphia area. He drove up with Joe from 360 Comics. He went to the after party. I sat next to him, talked to him for a while. And it's a Dave Stevens book. Now, here's the thing, guys. Dave Stevens is really hot right now. I make no secret. I like Dave Stevens, but what I like about Dave Stevens is more of the Rocketeer. I like his books with like cool faces and that are interesting and that tell the story. I'm not really into like the good girl books that much. So I've been seriously considering parting with some of my Dave Stevens books. But I had to pick one up because this is a book that fits exactly what I want in my Dave Stevens collection. And it's this. This is Doc Stern, Mr. Monster, number 2. It's by Eclipse Comics in 1985. Script and pencils by Michael T. Gilbert. But of course, the cover is by Dave Stevens. And I love this cover. We have the Mr. Monster right there. And look at these kids in the Halloween costumes. Like, look at their faces and expressions. There's clearly something going on over here. This tells a story. This is why I like Dave Stevens. And he had it for $10. It's got some, it needs a press. It's got some creases in it, but that was fine. Mike, thank you so much for selling this to me. I'll add it to my Dave Stevens collection that I'm absolutely keeping. So now we come to the 3 big books. And like I said earlier, I either traded for these in whole or in part, meaning cash and trade. And this first one, I traded for completely. I traded with my good friend Josh from Buzz Comics. He's been on the channel several times. He does all the brewery shows around here in New England. I saw this book the last time I saw him. I was interested at the time. And yeah, when he saw my trade stuff, he went through it, pulled out a ton of stuff. I think originally he was intending to buy stuff from me. But when I told him I was interested in this book, we kind of did, the comps to figure out the price. They were close. And he just said, let's do it. What book am I talking about? You saw it. This is The Amazing Spider-Man number 41 from 1966, written by Stan Lee, art, of course, by John Romita Sr., and this is the first appearance of Alexei Mikhailovich, a.k.a. The Rhino. Awesome Rogues Gallery villain of Spider-Man. Here's the thing, guys. I love Spider-Man. I love Silver Age Spider-Man, and I love his Rogues Gallery, and one of my long-term collecting goals is to collect all of the first appearances of Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. Easier said than done. Everyone knows Amazing Spider-Man Silver Age stuff is expensive, and a lot of those early ones, like Green Goblin and Doc Ock, are very expensive. So I'm starting with the smaller villains. So when I saw that Josh had this, I knew I wanted to trade with him. And like I said, he went through and we thought they were comparable value. And of all the books that he took out, there were a few kind of bigger ones. There was like, the Iron Man Demon in a Bottle, that famous Bob Layton cover. There was a really low grade Wolverine 1 limited edition. So I did the value in my head afterwards and figured out what I traded him was worth about $180. That's what I actually put into them, but it was worth closer to like $350, which is kind of what he had on this. I think it's like a 3.0 or a 3.5. You see there are some color breaks on it, especially like an abrasion right here on Rhino. it's weird for me to say this, guys, but like, besides that, this book is immaculate. The back cover is great. The interior pages are fantastic. The staples are great. All of the damage is on the front, and even then, it's not that bad. So this is going to look fantastic on that row up there. I'll put them right next to the shocker, probably. Super happy to get this book, and let me tell you guys, if this is the only book I got in the day, I'd be a pretty happy guy, but we haven't even scratched the surface yet. So the next book I'm going to show you is probably the book that's worth the most. Actually, it certainly is, but I'm going to show it to you second. In this one, I actually got from Second Alarm Comics. So the owner, Jim, I met at the 3 Men in a Basement comic book swap last year, and Jim's great because not only is he amenable to trades, he's pretty close to 1-to-1, and he'll also trade a big book for lots of little books. There's not many comic book shops and dealers that will do that, guys. The fact that Jim is amenable to that, it's amazing. I did a pretty great trade with him last year. Lots of little stuff. I think I got first Deadpool from him. And then I did a pretty big trade with him when I visited the store during a 3 Men in a Basement, comic book crawl. I actually got a ton of books for my Chris Claremont run. He's great. And I knew he would be there, and I knew he loves trading. So he's the first person I went up to. And just like I said, he was willing to trade one big book for lots of little stuff. You know, looking at his stuff, knowing I was probably going to trade with him, there were a lot of books that I was eyeing, but there was one, a book I've wanted for a long time, I could not stop looking at, and I wasn't the only one. Everyone was staring at this book for a good reason. Before I tell you what I traded for it, I'm just going to show it to you. It is this. This is Werewolf by Night, number 32 from 1975. Amazing cover by Gil Kane and Al Milgram. Written by Doug Mensch, pencils by Don Perlin. And of course, this is the first appearance of Mark Spector, the Moon Knight. One of my favorite Marvel characters. And guys, I've wanted this book for a long time. The reason why I haven't pulled the trigger on it is because I'm always shocked when I see how expensive this book is. I mean, when you think of big Marvel Bronze Age books, you think of Hulk 181, you think of Amazing Spider-Man 129, Punisher, and then I feel like there's a pretty big drop-off, right? No, this book, it's hard to get into this book for less than $500, unless you're getting a really low-grade one. So I always shy away from it. But here I am with this opportunity to get this really high-grade, beautiful copy. They had it priced at $800. I knew that was a lot of books I'd have to trade for that. So Jim goes into my trade boxes and starts pulling out, very similar to that last trade, lots of smaller books, things I didn't spend much money on at all. And then he pulled out a couple big ones. In fact, he pulled out the biggest book I had in that trade box, which was a book I got relatively recently, and it pains me to see it go, but it was actually the first appearance of John Stewart, Green Lantern. I got that book at a great price. I'm not a huge DC collector, but man, Comic Spot worked on that book. It was beautiful. I had it up on my top shelf there with my other DC stuff. I love that book. Last second, I grabbed that book and threw it in my trade box because, I'm primarily a Marvel collector. If I saw something I just couldn't live without, at least I had that blue chip in there. Of course, that's the first thing Jim grabbed. He knew what it was worth. He also grabbed the first appearance of Adam Warlock when he's in the Cocoon, Fantastic Four. It wasn't that big of a deal, but everything else was tiny. We added up the price of all those books. It was about $550, we thought. I was still a little short, so I paid him $250 cash alongside that. Again, if you add up the value of all those, or add up what I got all those books for, I'm into this book for like $500, guys, really. And like I said, this is a really high-grade book. How high-grade? So high grade, I'm going to have to show you pictures and overlays right now to explain how nice this is. I opened it up. Me and Jim initially thought this was like a 7 to a 7.5. It has a couple of very small color-breaking spine ticks, a little bit of, kind of rippling up here on the top cover. The back cover has a little bit of foxing, a little bit of staining on the interior front page. But if that sounds like I'm saying a lot of negatives, I'm trying to be as conservative as possible here because this book is gorgeous. The cover is incredible. I mean, like I said, barely any color breaks at all. The gloss on this thing is nuts. And I sent a video of this to my friend Jeff at Comic Spa, and he told me he works on a lot of these books. He never sees them this nice at all. So he's pretty optimistic. It's at least a 7.5, maybe even an 8. So Jim, awesome trade. Thank you so much. This has been on my list for a long time, and I never in a million years thought I'd have a first Moon Knight in this high a grade. Unbelievable, guys. Pretty psyched about it. But we have one more book, and I think it's equally as awesome. So this last book I got from a vendor called Chew Kingdom. A couple of guys that came up from New Jersey. I'll put any links I could find to all of their stuff down in the description. And I'd never seen these guys before. I think it was their first time at the show, but the first thing I noticed was the caliber of books they had. I mean, insane stuff, guys. They had a Hulk #1, they had first Iron Man, first Doom, Giant Size X-Men #1, Hulk 181, and everything in between. Just ludicrously awesome books. So that caught my eye, but the second thing that caught my eye was they had a book with a big yellow sticky note on it that said sale. And this is a book I've wanted for a long time, and it was priced at about $100 or more off fair market value. Now, it was still a very expensive book. I didn't think I could get this book, but William is the guy that owned this book, but his partner actually wanted to go through my books. And although they were kind of like separately looking at the books, you know, like he didn't want to like trade, he wanted cash for this. His partner looked at the books, gave me cash, which I then promptly handed to William. So for all intents and purposes, guys, it was a trade. And yeah, I mean, there's no point in me dragging this out any longer. You know exactly which book it is. It's this. This is the Fantastic Four number 49. It is from 1966, of course, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and this is the first full appearance of Galactus, second appearance of the Silver Surfer, first cover appearance of both of them, and in my opinion, one of the best Silver Age covers ever. This is an amazing comic book I've wanted for a long time. I have a very low grade Fantastic Four 48. I absolutely wanted to get this one. I assumed I would get a low grade one. As a matter of fact, they had a lower grade one, probably like a 3.0, a 3.5. They had priced at $350. But this book, the original sticker price was $630, I think, and they had it on sale for $550. So I looked it up. I did some quick, comparables online and saw this book in this grade goes for $650 to $700. I knew it was a good deal. But once I was able to soften that blow, I ended up getting this for $290. $290. And again, even if you look at this in the most pessimistic way possible, the books that I sold, I probably spent $60 on them. So I was into this book for $350. But from my standpoint, guys, for all intents and purposes, I really just traded with those guys, right? The partner ended up with all the books. I ended up with this one. Pretty darn stoked, guys. I didn't think you could top the Werewolf by Night, I didn't think you could top the Rhino, but the day kept getting better, and I ended it on this incredible high note. My only dilemma is where the heck am I going to put this behind me? But man, am I happy. Let me know down in the comments if you like this cover as much as I do. I think it's one of the absolute best of the Silver Age. Chef's kiss, all that. I am pretty excited about this one. Okay, guys, so these are the 3 huge books I got at the 3 Men in a Basement comic book swap. I say I go to these shows and stuff for the experience. Hanging out with these people is kind of like, eating your chocolate sundae, and the comic books you get are kind of like the cherry on top. Well, I have 3 really delicious cherries on top of this sundae, but we need some real talk, guys, because although I traded a lot of books for these, I also spent a lot of cash. How much? I spent a little over $500 for all 3 of these books. Now, clearly, the value is way more than that, and clearly the books I traded, helped that quite a bit. But still, that's a lot of money, and I already know people are going to go down to the comments and say, these aren't Lunch Money Comics books or Lunch Money Comics money. And you're absolutely right. However, trading for comics, I think, is very on brand for Lunch Money Comics. I love trading comic books, and it's great when you can have an environment like this that you can trade things at a pretty close 1-to-1. I think it's a great way to level up your collection. I always advocate for it. So to that end, I think these are very on brand. But yeah, I know what some of you are saying, and lately I've been spending a little bit of money. I put some money aside just for this show. However, I do have a lot of things coming up soon. I actually have a show the day after this one. But then I'm going to cool it. Flea market season is back in swing, and I want to go back to my Lunch Money Comics roots. I want to go back to, the dollar bin hunting, trying to find those little treasures hidden places. So this was kind of a last huzzah before the summer really got going. I need to save up some money. I need to sell some books. But I'm going to revel in this day. Trading for these books, in part or in whole, was pretty special, but mostly, guys, hanging out with all those amazing people. Again, 3 really delicious cherries, but I definitely liked that chocolate sundae. Absolutely. So, guys, head on down in the comments. Let me know what you think of the show. Let me know what you think of these books. Which one do you like the best? Do you think I paid a great price? And that is pretty much it, guys. In the meantime, keep hunting for comic books in strange and unusual places. Trade for them whenever you can, especially at great comic swaps like the 3 Men in a Basement put on. I'll put links to everyone that I mentioned down in my description. Thank you all so very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.